Well, it's finally time to LS swap my 92. And it's a long time coming. Thousands of dollars and years later, and I finally have everything that I need for this LS swap. This video will cover the basics of what I hope to accomplish. But first, some pre-LS swap data. This is with the bone stock 305, throttle body injection, and a lazy 700 R4. The 0 to 60 comes in at 9 seconds flat on asphalt that is rather slippery. The 60 to 0 braking distance is 137 feet. Not a super good result. I put my car on a dyno just to see what it would do bone stock. It put down 122 rear wheel horsepower and 208 pound-feet of torque at the rear tires, and this was on an all-wheel drive Mustang dyno. The dyno operator said this was the weirdest curve he'd ever seen. As you can see, the torque peaks very quickly and then immediately nosedives, which would explain why this car launches out of the hole pretty good and then completely falls on its face. As far as handling goes, it's a bit hard to give an exact G-force number, as variables like track surfaces, weather, and downforce can skew the numbers. And oftentimes, G-forces between cars can't be compared. But with all that said, my 92 can hold a little over 1.2 Gs of cornering force. Oftentimes, that's at full throttle as well. Some quick sound clips of the stock 305. Cruising around town is about 84 decibels. The car's curb weight, with a full tank of gas, no driver, no T-tops, is a whopping 3,455 pounds. The goal is to get my 92 down to the 3,000 pound cam class minimum. This means I'll be deleting anything heavy like air conditioning. I'll be replacing anything that I can with lightweight aluminum, and I'll be dimple dyeing any sheet metal that I find. The highway fuel economy is surprisingly good. Even with 315 tires and a giant spoiler, the car hit 20.1 mpg highway. With the addition of real sequential EFI and a manual transmission, my guess is the car will jump to about 25 to 27 mpg highway. With the planned 400 pound or more weight loss, larger tires, and improved weight balance, my guess for handling is a jump to about 1.27 through 1.3 Gs of lateral force. Moving on to the biggest change. I'll be swapping in a 2001 all-aluminum LS1. I installed a 216-220 camshaft with 600 thou lift. The engine will use 1 3/4 stainless steel long tube headers, a crank scraper, will obviously be custom tuned, and will have an extremely efficient exhaust system. I'm guessing the engine will put down about 360 rear wheel horsepower and about 370 rear wheel torque. That's about a 3x increase in power and nearly double the torque compared to the old, tired 305. The 0 to 60 should be about 4.5 seconds with my sticky 315s. The 60 to 0 stopping distance should be about 125 feet. Most of the distance reduction in this is due to the fact that the car will be much lighter. Obviously, the fuel system will be completely redone to support this engine. Things like an oil cooler, oil thermostat, and AccuSump will be added to use this car at the track. Another big change is the close ratio T56 Magnum F. This is a beefed up T56 that fits an F-body. The gearing from the automatic will vary quite a lot. The manual has much longer gears, maybe a little bit too long. Autocross is mostly done in second gear, so I'll have to see how well it puts power down. If the gearing is too long, then I'll just add more horsepower. Highway RPMs will drop by about 300 with the manual. I'll be going with the 315 version of the Yokohama AO52s, the current autocross cheater tire. A more free-flowing Z28 grille will be added. I'll be making my spoiler a little bit larger to max out the spoiler size rules. And if things go very smoothly, I'll be finishing my front splitter. A lightweight fiberglass hood will cut down weight by 30 pounds. Hood louvers will help reduce underhood temperatures and reduce high-speed lift. And making sure that every day is leg day, I'll be going with manual brakes. There's a few reasons why I'm swapping to manual brakes. Number 1, it allows me to run more negative camber. Number 2, it reduces weight and engine bay clutter. Number 3, it allows for better threshold braking. And lastly, it will force me to left foot brake, as my left leg is much stronger than my right. I'm sure I forgot some things, but this is just the gist of what I have planned for my car over the next year or so. I'll be filming everything that I can along the way. As always, make sure to subscribe and follow me on Instagram to not miss any of my LS Swap content.